My name is Donald Reed.
Only one of these gentlemen is the real Donald Reed. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel.
I, Donald Reed, am the founder and president of the Count Dracula Society, an organization whose sole aim is the serious study of horror films and gothic literature as art forms. We meet once a month to discuss such wonderfully unsavory characters as Dr. Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, and of course Count Dracula himself. Once a year, we hold the Anne Radcliffe Awards dinner. The invitations are printed in black. Signed, Donald Reed.
What two people did this exchange take place? Won't you have a glass of wine? No, thank you. I never drink wine.
Bela Lugosi and Dwight Fry.
Number one, did Dr. Frankenstein make the monster, or was the monster's name Frankenstein?
Dr. Frankenstein made the monster.
Number three, where is the monster of Blondes?
I don't know.
Number two, what kind of a monster head do you have there?
Wolfman.
I mean, the one on the side.
Wolfman.
Number three, what causes the Wolfman to become a Wolfman?
The moon, the changing of the moon.
I mean, what actually infects him so that he
a bite by another werewolf turned him into a werewolf.
That's it. Mark your ballots, if you will, please. So, the votes are all in, mine's made up, and you heard the reasons well given. Now, let's find out which one of these gentlemen, in truth, is Donald Reed. Will the real Donald Reed please stand up?
Gentlemen, we are dealing with the undead. Nosferatu. Yes, Nosferatu. The undead.
I am Dracula. I bid you welcome.
The whole idea for paying homage to those who help Hollywood pay its way came from Dr. Donald Reed, historian, lawyer, and librarian. His home in South Central L.A. is crammed full of movie memorabilia, most of it horrific.
I think horror films are medieval morality plays brought up to date. You know, with one exception, I've never seen a horror film where good was not rewarded and evil punished at the end. So these films are not only entertainment, but they're teaching young people moral lessons. The one exception I'm thinking of is a film called Rosemary's Baby.
Why the Count Dracula Society? I love him too, but I never thought of starting a society for him.
I'm 50 years old. When I was a kid, I saw all the Dracula films. When I got to be an adult, I said, why not bring together kids, adults, people who love these films, study them, see them, talk about them, enjoy them, but also give awards. The Dracula Society not only has held conferences, but for 24 years it's given awards.
Yes, I vividly recall how I first met Donald Reed. It seems to me now about 1,000 years ago. I was at the Silent Movie Theater, and there were a couple of chaps standing there. I started up a conversation with them. But a few weeks later, they turned up at my doorstep, and to say to my surprise, here I was being awarded a big award of the year by the Count Dracula Society that I didn't even know existed. The minute I found out that there was a Count Dracula Society, why, I was Johnny on the spot signing up for it.
Into dinner strode the 400, two-thirds of the Society's national membership. It's devoted to the appreciation of horror films and Gothic literature. It's an elitist group with campy ways.
So the first event I was invited to by Don, I was kind of surprised to see that most of the audience was in costume. They're wearing white face makeup, fake teeth, fake fangs.
But if you want to wear your Knight Grand Star, Rich, if you want to wear that Grand Star, you wear it with pride, because Bud Abbott, my friend, my good friend Bud Abbott, gave me most of those stars, and I've given them away only to the highest ranking members of the society. So only you and 700 other people have these. Rich, it's wonderful, wonderful.
The Count Dracula Society, when I first went there, seemed like a bunch of fans and misfits who were kind of obsessed in a major way with these horror films.
People started telling me almost from the get-go when I got out here was, you've got to join the Count Dracula Society. You're going to meet a lot of professional writers and actors and directors and all this, that are in the genre. So it was amazing who showed up at some of these banquets.
Elsa Lanchester, the bride of Frankenstein, was the guest of honor, and she said, "Well, I don't know what I can do for your people except," and then she screamed.
Rock Hudson was a guest. He got an award for a film he called Seconds. Came with a lovely lady, but he was more interested in the vice president, I think, of my society, which was a very handsome young man, Alan White.
At the banquets, they would give away these Anne Radcliffe Awards, and they were in the image of Dracula, as sculpted by an artist named Rumpf. Now, Rumpf's work is very much in demand among collectors.
I remember one Halloween, I was on the front page in color of USA Today, and it was a whole movement. The Dracula films die out and then they're revived. Dracula rises from his coffin every decade.
If you made a horror film, whether it was big budget or not, and no one really paid attention at Academy time because it's a horror film, suddenly there was a whole group of people who sat up and did pay attention, and suddenly your film was kind of reborn and publicity going along with it. And then when he formed the Academy, well, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science, the Academy of Science Fiction, they sound the same. There were more members. Everybody got very excited about it.
The Oscar Academy, which is a very great academy, we have great respect for it, in its 54 years has never once honored a science fiction, fantasy, or horror film as the best picture of the year. When Star Wars came out, the most successful film of the last 25 years, it's made $500 million, it's probably cleared. Star Wars did not receive the Oscar for Best Picture. It went to Annie Hall. I was mad. I was angry, I was upset, but I say, don't get mad, do something. And I got even by starting the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films. They had to be recognized.
Here, to explain the balloting procedures, is the founder and president of the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films, Dr. Donald Reed.
The Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films, composed of both professionals and devotees, presents these awards of merit and recognition as a simple thank you to films and filmmakers who have brought us all so much pleasure.
The Count Dracula Society sounded a little corny and like a fan organization, whereas the Academy of Science Fiction Arts and Sciences sounds like something really to be respected, which it is.
I think it was only once that they had the Trixies, and then they morphed into the golden Saturns.
So the sad thing was, as the Academy rose with 158 films a year, people dropped out of the Dracula Society to join the Academy.
After that, I don't recall any more Dracula meetings. I guess it was about that time that it morphed into the Academy.
With me this evening to discuss our 8th annual nominations is the Vice President of the Academy, Habib Madavi.
I was one of the first few people in the first meeting we ever had to start the Academy. There was 4 or 5 of us.
But the first show televised is immortal because William Shatner, he was paid $5,000 to MC the show, so he wanted to sing the song Rocket Man. But it was about the worst song ever sung on any television award show.
Last night, pre-flight, 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high.
And I remember seeing this on TV when I was a kid and freaking out that it was the most interesting thing I think I'd ever seen when I was a kid. And here he was telling me that he had produced the show, and I was like, oh my God.
No, I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning out his fuse out here alone.
But what's great about the old Golden Globes, and what's always been great about the Saturn Awards, is you can table hop, you can have a couple of glasses of wine, and you can go up to some of these actors that you've always loved, that you've loved as a kid, because there's no pressure there at the Saturn Awards, and everybody can sort of let down their hair.
I think it's that casual attitude and the fun that people have there that makes it so much fun. I mean, everybody goes
and shows up to these awards, and they don't show up to a lot of these things.
This is the absolute truth. I don't go to any award ceremonies except for this one. I don't even go to the BMI awards anymore. I've got about 10 of them. I won't go. This is the only one.
I've even heard some of the recipients of the Sci-Fi Academy Awards say that this award is more desirable to them than if they had got an Academy Award.
We've been very lucky. We've gotten a few awards, a few Saturn Awards. They're the best looking awards, and they're my favorite of any that you could possibly get.
This beautiful thing is the Saturn Award. I don't know who designed it, but you can see it's very big. When people come into my office, it looks like I'm doing well in the film business, which is Don's gift to me, the illusion of success.
Say, oh, Don Reed, he's got that Academy. You know, if he gives us an award, we'll end up on the front page of Variety. So deal with this guy, cooperate with this guy.
I mean, there's a lot of people who make genre movies because they think that's going to be their commercial ticket, and when they make that hit film, then they can go make the film they really want to make. But then there's a lot of us who really want to make genre films, who love genre films, and they tend to gravitate to this organization and to Dr. Reed.
From our youngest member to one of the leaders of our youth division. Actually, Roger Fenton was the head of our youth division.
I guess I became notorious as the person who almost killed Dr. Reed. We were on our way on a Friday night, and near Don's house is a one-way street that leads to the freeway. And I never saw anything out of nowhere. A drunk driver came straight at us at about 65 or 70 miles per hour.
He was bleeding internally, and had we not found him within hours, he would have probably been dead, according to Dr. Carnes.
He had an unusual circumstance. It's called traumatic diabetes. The injury he had with the accident that ruptured his bladder and caused all of the kinds of internal injuries also destroyed that portion of the pancreas, and therefore he became a diabetic.
I knew him when he had this energy that was really something. This guy was a real firecracker. I still think he thinks that way, and I still think he has a lot of youth in him. But he's gotten a little bit older, so have I. I kind of still like the stuff I liked when I was a kid, so does he. That's probably why we get along. But he was in the hospital, I think, because of this car accident. It did change his life because his health started to falter after that.
Being in that hospital changed my whole life because my health was destroyed from that moment on. Thank you all for coming. This will be the shortest speech I've given in 8 years. All I have to say is that while we're not on television for the first time in 4 years, we will be back on in 1982. And next year we'll be back on television thanks to Paul Goulet. We've got to get back on TV. God bless and help us.
About that?
No, but you talk to them. I want to talk.
How about Michael?
Well, Michael's going to take me Wednesday. I have to go to 2 doctors on Wednesday. I have to see.
Dan, you want to get that?
Dr. Reed. Yes. Yes. Well, here, let me give you the secretary here. Calling about membership, Robert, for the Academy.
Then I have to run to the bathroom.
No, but I cannot do it, Robert. Please take the phone.
Well,
I cannot do it.
Just give me 5 minutes.
No, I can't do it. Here, take
Tell
the
him
phone.
a little bit about the Academy.
Just write the name down here. Write the name. Give me the phone down. Take a name and phone number.
Okay. Well, the Academy is a non-profit organization. It's based here in Los Angeles, and what we do is we vote awards. We screen films and we vote awards. So I can always send you some material. Membership is open to the public. I think, Don, you want to tell them about how the membership is broken up into 3 parts?
This is the president of the Academy of Science Fiction speaking. How can I be of service?
It's a video camera, so you'll be looking into this hole, and you'll be able to see yourself
on this screen.
Okay. Where's the red button? I don't see it. Oh, I see it now. This is on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to get my Academy back on television. It was on television 4 times, but I want to get back on TV. If someone will put up $250,000, I could do on their network an hour show for the Saturn Awards. That's my dream. I understand over the radio and television, they found a cure for diabetes. Is that correct, Bob?
There is a Canadian group that's come out with a fancier insulin pump, so to speak. But let's say it would be more in the line of better control rather than cure.
Okay. I want to live as long as it takes to get the Saturn Awards show back on TV. It's been on TV 4 times. We were 200 cities on national television. Prime time here in LA, KTLA, Channel 5, 8 o'clock to 9:30. And the greatest moment of that show was when Moses presented God the statuette to Saturn.
Still, I feel we have a special relationship, George.
Okay. One more commandment. Don't try to steal the scene.
Tom, good luck, and I will see you Thursday morning.
Absolutely.
As diligent as he is in the success and the continuation of the Academy, that's how just the opposite he is as far as his own personal health is concerned. He has not been a good patient as a diabetic, and he now is beginning to pay some of the prices for that. He still, I'm fairly certain, is a cheater and a snake when it comes to keeping the sugar products out of his diet. I'll catch him at an affair with a Coke and say, "Is that Diet Coke?" And he'll say, "Yeah," and I'll taste it because it's real Coke.
Sensors indicate you have reached the Academy office. If you wish to speak to either Dr. Donald Reed or Robert Holguin, you can leave a message on this primitive machine. I have programmed the device to also receive faxes. Transmit now. Danger, danger. If you do not wait until you hear the beep, your message may be forever lost in space.
This morning I was very weak. I had diabetes. I have diabetes. And diabetes affects the circulation. When I get up in the morning, I'm in tremendous pain. I tell you, it's been a struggle to live. Sometimes I despair, but then I see a film, I heard the music of Gilbert and Sullivan, and I say it's good to be alive again.
I shall achieve in time to let the punishment fit the climb, the punishment fit the climb, and make each place an apparent, unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment,
I own this home. I've lived here over 50 years in this home. My grandparents owned it, my parents owned it. Now I own this house. But I want to be wearing my Academy button and my Dracula pin and my little Saturn. My hair combed over. I was born November 22nd, 1935, near the city of New Orleans in the state of Louisiana. Well, we moved here as a completely Caucasian neighborhood. There literally were a dozen motion picture theaters around my home. So I got very interested in film, and even old films, because all the American theater showed its classics, 30s and 40s.
I can remember in another house that we lived in, when they were real young, Don came over and they were making a movie, and they were stabbing somebody, and they put ketchup all over the place.
He lived with my stepdad and ourselves on 54th until they moved back and moved away, and then he stayed with my grandmother and my grandfather. They were primarily the people who raised us.
My mother was just like his mother, and I was there with him all the time, and we spoiled him.
Well, Donna was the only person that I knew that wore a white shirt, starched shirt, and bow tie, and mowing a hand mower on 54th Street. He was never practical. His eccentricities were even noted back then.
When I came here, I went to Holy Cross Elementary School, which is 10 blocks. I was taught by the Sisters of St. Joseph. Then I went to Loyola University, 18, 19 years old, and I went there 4 complete years. I could never afford to go to USC Law School. That was one of the richest schools in the world, And my grandfather, who I lived with after my grandmother died, paid for my USC tuition. Tears come to my eyes when I think of the great law cases. This is a country of law, not of violence, or not of monopoly, or not of rich and poor, but a country of law. A country of law. And I think when I went to my 3 years in law school, I fell in love with the law. And I wrote this essay, The Allure of War in Outer Space, a modest proposal for a popular movement and for a treaty. And I said, just as the Pact of Paris of August 27th, 1928, outlawed war on Earth, all the nations of the Earth should sign a treaty outlawing war in outer space. The high contracting parties solemnly declare in the names of their respective peoples that they outlaw war in outer space. So it hasn't come about yet, but who knows what's in outer space? Maybe we'll sign different planets or different aliens will sign a treaty with Americans or with the whole world. Maybe I'll live to see it. If there's any aliens out there, we certainly don't want to go to war with them. We want to be friends with them.
After my mother passed away, it was just my Don and my dad in the house, together.
Ines Forey was the heart of the family. And when she died at the age of the late 70s, she died of diabetes.
And then when my dad got sick, real sick, I had him over here with me.
And he died, of course, there at my aunt's and I. The first night I remember being alone, having lived in the house with 2 brothers, 1 uncle, 1 sister, a mother, a stepfather, then with my grandmother and grandfather. I was very lonely.
But after grandparents died, then he just started stacking things on top of each other until there was no room to walk. You had to go sideways.
Robert, what I'm going to do is rest for about 10, 20 minutes. I'm taking them just through the library, not to your room. No, the library, they want to photograph the library. So they're not going to photograph your room. I'll have them cut it off before they come into your room. Start it again when we get in the library, because you don't want your room. No, he doesn't want his room in there. Now, all these books on King Tut. All this whole thing, King Tut, King Tut. Oh, by the way, there's Dolly Cott. Remember I took you to see that picture about Gilbert and Sullivan? Oh, my favorite movie of all time, City Lights, 1930. And here I am with Bud Abbott. I've loved Abbott and Costello movies all my life. To dine, your pal, Bud Abbott. Come on in the kitchen. Come on in the kitchen. And you can see all the videos and books in the pantry, in the food pantry. A. Van Vogt was voted in 1947 the greatest living science fiction writer. For Don Reed, autographed with pleasure and with all best wishes to a remarkable person, A. Van Vogt. Here's the autographed book of Dorothy Day, the single most important influence on my religious life. August 10th, 1955. May God bless you, Donald, in your work for peace, Dorothy Day. I'm a Catholic, and I'm still a believing Catholic, thanks to Dorothy Day and the Catholic worker movement. This is the heart of the library, this room here. You should go around it. There's like 10 chess sets here. Large chess sets, marble chess sets. I used to be a member of the George Bernard Shaw Society, and that whole shelf of books is on Bernard Shaw. Now this is a life mask of the greatest Dracula of them all, Bela Lugosi, an actual life mask. The first film Robert Redford did, and he was the most important man in the world in 1974, was done in 1962. It's called War Hunt. I wrote the first book on Robert Redford. That whole section there is 35 books written on him, by him, about him. I have the biggest Redford collection in the world. The University of Brigham Young University offered to name a room after me, the Dr. Donnelly Reed Robert Redford room, if I gave him all my books, but I couldn't part with them.
But, like I said, that's his love of not having children, and those books became his family. I have things here that's 40 years old that I've kept and should have discarded, and Donald has the same thing with his books. It's like we're collectors, and all these spell memories for us, and it's either too painful to get rid of, or we think they may be valuable one day. I don't know which.
This is Robert's room. Professor Rolf Lingler did this painting of me as Count Dracula. You can't see most of it. This was done in the late 70s. The World Almanac has put me in, and it says, the leading authority in the world on Count Dracula is law librarian Dr. Donnelly Reed. And they say I know more about Dracula and movies about Dracula and books about Dracula than anybody else. These books were published by the New York Times. The first really great vampire story was Varney the Vampire. It was in the early part of the 19th century, as Dracula was in the latter part of the 19th century. And here's a picture of the editor, Dr. Varma, with myself, because the book is dedicated to me. The 3 volumes, the first major vampire book in English language, is dedicated to me. It says, for Donald A. Reed, President of the Count Dracula Society, who provided a rostrum for devotees of the Gothic genre, fostered their mythical fancies, and answered the call of great Gothic dreams. So here you have this very serious religious-minded person, and he starts an organization devoted to this dark supernatural being, Count Dracula.
Indeed.
Why does Count Dracula fascinate Richard Matheson, Robert Bloch, Ray Bradbury, Forrest J. Ackerman? Why do they all look into this Bram Stoker book and they say, whoa, I know what the live is and I know what the dead is, but what is this living death, this undead situation? What is it? Whatever it is, it's potent in the cosmic memory, in the cosmic identity. Perhaps we recognize each other in some way as vampires. Perhaps vampires really are.
Well, there was a real historical Dracula. 2 history professors, Professor McNally and Florescu, have established the fact that there was a Christian prince, a knight, who fought the Turks and was a great hero, actually, in the 15th century. So there was a real historical Dracula. I believe in that, but if you say to me, Dr. Reed, do you believe in vampires and ghosts and werewolves? I would simply say, no, but they frighten me.
So you don't really think a Dracula exists?
Oh, no, there's no person that changes into a bat and flies in the air. Of course not. But there's perhaps a Dracula, in a sense, in all of us, in the sense that we yearn for immortality.
And look at this. This is his chart.
Oh, right.
It can't get bigger than this. Okay.
Okay, now how long is this going to take? Do you really feel that you want to take your award show and put it right into the middle of the AFI, the Golden Globes? No, I don't, but look, maybe we should do it much earlier than we thought. In December? No, in February, maybe. If they're in January, it wouldn't conflict. Golden Globes at the end of January, Oscars are in the middle of March, aren't they? Yeah. But there are like 2 or 3 other shows against us, yeah. So I think we should make our nominations when there's no other group against us, like, as you say, the America Cinematheque. Wouldn't you say, though, it's work for us to do the show in May or June? Yeah, well, we did it last year. We did it this year in June. We did it last year in June, and probably then 2001 we'll do it in June, because it's been done in June every month for the last several years. The Park Hyatt in Century City, a sumptuous dinner for 400 people, whatever. That's important, Don, that you catch up with a lot of the films you've missed over the year. Right. Frequency just came in today on video. Yes, have you seen that yet? No, I want to see it very much. Dinosaur? Did you like Dinosaur? How would you classify that? That would have to be in science fiction, I would think. Fantasy or science fiction? I would think science fiction. Do you have any thoughts on Life Career Awards this year? Did you mention Robert Englund to me? Yeah, the guy who played Freddy in all those movies. He deserves some type of recognition, having played Freddy in 7 or 8 movies, I think. They still come. It's just like Godzilla. We're screening Godzilla this Sunday at the USC Norris Cinema Theater for members of the Academy of Science Fiction, and it says Godzilla 2000. Godzilla 2000. They keep on making the films just like they keep on making the Freddy films. There'll never be an end to them. Well, when I started working with Dr. Reed back in 1982, I would come to his house as a volunteer. He was in his wheelchair. Slowly, we took the offices of the Academy and moved it to my home because I had a total cast on this right leg for like 13 months. Maybe 6 or 7 months into doing this,
Dr. Reed took me aside and said he had a great conflict with the person who was taking care of him, and he was looking for somebody to replace that person. And just a couple of years ago, he named me vice president of the Academy.
So Robert not only took care of me, he became eventually the administrator of the Academy of Science Fiction.
He's certainly not a perfect individual. He has his little quirks, which upset me at times. But overall, the positive aspects are there.
He also has diabetes, and he's about this much, he's a skosh more attentive as a patient than Doc.
Professor, vampires only exist in ghost stories. A vampire, Mr. Harker, is a thing that lives after its death by drinking the blood of the living. It must have blood or it dies.
First thing, I'm going to fill this syringe with 100. That's for me. Just test my blood. Put mine down and just... Is that mine? That's mine. Well, where's mine then?
He's not helpful in health-wise, I would say, because he doesn't help himself. I mean, they don't eat right. They eat out. They don't cook. So I don't think in that way Robert's not good for him in that way.
It has to be done every day of the life if you're a diabetic on insulin. Your blood must be tested to either be too high or too low. I will know what my blood count in just a minute or two. I'll give myself my insulin shot right after you guys leave so they can see it. What is it, Robert?
191.
191, that's good for me. This is the insulin, 100 units. Insulin every diabetic must take if he wants to control his blood. So I take 100 units of insulin every day of my life. Every day of my life, I've done this for years. If I want to live, I must take this. My blood sugar count today was 191. It's usually between 180 and 210, but that's good for me. If it goes over 500, you got to go back to the hospital, don't you?
The spider spinning his web for the unwary fly. The blood is the life, Mr. Redfield.
Why don't you call him right now, Dad?
No, you call him. You got your phone over there. I'll pick up. Call them on your phone. What's their number?
You gotta dial it.
No, you pick it up, call it.
No, I don't have my
phone book. They'll make you do all this. Kevin and Bradley Marcus joined. They're twins, identical twins. They're in their early 30s, I'd say 33. I met them 10 years ago when they joined the Academy, and these boys love film so much that Robin and I became their great friends. And since I don't drive anymore, they pick us up and go to see movies. That trash can, the one in the kitchen, the one in the bathroom.
You know, we were just regular members at first. We'd come to the screenings and we'd say hi to Dr. Reed, and you know, he was like this bigger than life figure, and he'd always get us mixed up because we're identical twins. He'd call me Bradley, he'd call me Kevin. And once you've kind of like, you know, taken him to the doctor or taken him to the store, you're kind of like trapped for life, basically. But Robert's his right-hand man, but we're almost like his crutches, you know. But also, I mean, also like like about 4 years ago, we lost our father, and so he's becomes almost like a surrogate kind of like uncle, or you know, kind of like, you know, people even when we go to the street, you know, after screenings, we'll take him shopping, and they go, oh, you know, say to him that he has, oh, you have 2 nice sons, and people think we're actually his sons.
Kevin. Kevin. Get on my left side. We've got to clear out, everybody. Please clear out. We've got to clear out. Thank you, gentlemen. I enjoyed the film very much.
I think Dr. E just loves the idea of these young people and loves the idea of telling them and enlightening them with stories. And they love it just as much as he loves telling them.
But this book is the first 10-year history of my academy that I founded. Here's Don Johnson and A Boy and a Dog. It was a tie. Best Actor, 1975. James Caan for Rollerball, Don Johnson for Boy and a Dog. and I wanted him to be the president. He said he was very interested in being the president. We had maybe a 2-hour lunch. And then the next week he shot his show, and it became the #1 show in the nation, and he had no time for anything else. One thing Dr. Reed has tried to do through the Academy is to use it as a venue for the young filmmakers. James Cameron is perhaps the greatest filmmaker of our times. When he directed his very first film, he carried the reels for me to Terminator from his car. We showed it at USC to the Academy. He's my friend, and he's been a leader of the Academy. He's won more Saturns than anybody else.
When he was working as an art director at Corman, Don, sat and said, "You're doing great work, and, you're going to do Piranha 2, and that'll be great." And all that. And Cameron never forgot that. And so, literally one of the first screenings of Titanic, and Cameron invited Don.
He still sends a check for $5,000 every year. We're grateful for him. He's about the greatest filmmaker alive today, I would think. Maybe Spielberg, too, but Spielberg never sent a $5,000 check.
I've met kids there, that years ago were like basically ushers and assistants who are now selling screenplays.
I met a young man. He came in with a bathing suit. He had been swimming at USC. We were showing some science fiction film.
This gentleman came up to me with a high-pitched voice and wearing a suit and a number of pins on his sport coat, and asked me where I was going. And I said, "Oh, I'm just going back to my dorm." And he said, "Well, why don't you stay, watch the movie?" So I was like, "Oh, okay."
In those early days, I spoke to him once or twice. We had a good conversation. So at the next group meeting, he made us a Night Grand Star, my brother and me. He made us both Night Grand Stars for life. And he gave you a ribbon. And you felt kind of good. I was 15, 16 years old. It was my first award. And I still have that ribbon somewhere.
If I met a girl that I wanted to go out with, he actually took us out or gave me a job in the Academy so I could make some money so I could take the girl out. If I don't know how to say it. I thought he was a homosexual, I think.
Don finds love in companionship, in being a teacher, being a guide. It's not unwholesome in any way. It's not corruptive in any way. But I think that's where he finds love. He has great love for the people that he sort of brings up in a way and helps and teaches. I'm a product of that. It's a good thing.
I'm going to take the flashlight and walk you to the library. This is my girlfriend of 12 years. We were like married almost. Gaina Shireen, Miss Science Fiction. I went with her for 12 years. I proposed marriage 5 times in those 12 years, but she was an actress and she didn't want to get married.
He met Gaina in a party and he was so excited about it.
Gaina was Miss Science Fiction. That's what Don called her, and she was a model, I believe, out of Texas.
He had a picture of her, one of those models pictures, and he had that and he said, "Habib, look at this, she's gorgeous and she's gonna go out with." I couldn't believe it myself, she was gorgeous.
I'm Miss Countess Dracula, the mistress of your dreams.
Laugh all you like. I think he's fascinating. I suppose he's all right, but give me someone a little more normal. Count Dracula, Transylvania.
And we're delighted to present to you our Miss Science Fiction, Gaina Shireen. Gaina, come on.
Hi, Gaina.
Good to see you. Nice to see you, Gaina. Here's some photos of Gaina, our Miss Science Fiction. She has been, and she'll talk about these things, an actress and a singer for a number of years.
Sometimes Don would say, "I'd like you to meet my girlfriend." And then she'd kind of go, "No, I'm not his girlfriend. I'm Miss Science Fiction." Then another time I'd see her at a screening and say, "Well, you got into this?" She said, "Yeah, sure I got in. I'm his girlfriend. I can get in."
Is it possible you could sing something for us?
We could persuade you to sing one of your numbers for us.
Is that possible?
I'd be delighted.
Oh, great.
Would you please? We'd love it. Gaina will sing a song she's written.
Oh, here we go.
Don would introduce Gaina to people in the show business. Gaina wanted to become an actress, and Don would help.
And there were a few times where I was upset you know, because I felt like she was using him a little bit. And Don is so nice, and he'd occasionally pay her rent for her.
She wanted to be a star, and she co-starred in the first Cheech and Chong film. She played a Catholic nun in that. I forget the name.
I had finished school, so my student visa had ran out, and I was no longer a student, and I needed to stay, and I wanted to stay, and it was his suggestion.
There is some tangled history with Gaina because at some point, Gaina was going with Habib.
The biggest thing he ever did for me was asking Gaina Shireen, which was the love of his life, and I know how much Don was in love with Gaina. When I was in trouble and I needed to stay in this country, he let Gaina marry me. I had to have a real marriage. Real marriage meant that Gaina and I had to be in bed. And we slept together.
Men's warehouse. They don't have the address on here. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Come on, where's Robert? Tell him let's go. It looks great. You know, people have to spend to look good. Oldest Kevin and oldest. These are my old clothes. I have a good pair of shoes at home, and I have a bad pair, which I'm wearing the bad pair because I want to save the good pair for my dinner.
About 5-6 years ago was the first year I really had hands-on working as a producer on the show, and we had people down like Janet Leigh that year. We had Martin Landau and Gary Sinise, and that would probably be the highlight of my time with the organization because everything seemed to go right that night.
And we started off just, you know, as regular members, and we were assistants, and now like we've moved up to like, you know, now we produced the last several, you know, Saturn Awards shows.
Today, Kevin, we've been working on finalizing stuff for the award show. It's beginning to look like a lot of our winners aren't going to be available this year to attend the show. It's sort of akin to throwing a party and having the guest of honor not attend.
Of the 5 acting winners, only one will be there.
Would you say this year it looks like we kind of failed on that?
Well, I think I'm happy with who we have coming down. So every year you always find people that can't come. So
it's just very disappointing, that it really is. I've been doing this now for how long? 7, 8 years?
That's right.
And as far as I can remember, we've never had such a poor turnout as far as winners go. We will have failed in what we set out to do.
Well, not really, because we can send the statuettes to wherever the people are. My life is very hectic now because of the award show and finishing up raising all the funds, which will pay for everything. Several studios still owe us funds. Paramount, $7,500. Miramax Dimension, $5,000. Universal, $5,000. Castle Rock, $5,000. And Sci-Fi Channel, $5,000. Every day, practically, a invitation comes to a motion picture. And here is a invitation in today's mail, Requiem for a Dream.
Is that a check?
Yeah, it's a check for $5,000. I gotta have either you or Michael take me to the bank right now and deposit it. Universal sent the check for $5,000.
Well, you're going out now? He's fascinated with money, too. It's another fascination he has. He's fascinated with wealth. Never his own. You could probably give him $1 million and he wouldn't have any idea what to do with it. He'd put it right in the bank.
But when someone's a little obsessive compulsive, and I believe he is a bit obsessive compulsive, then numbers become very important to them.
We'll go to the bank right now in 10 minutes. Put this here back in here. We're on the way to the bank.
So I think that's why he's so meticulous, and that's why if you alter his universe, he panics. You know, don't sit in that chair, don't move that around.
That's gonna fall, Michael. If you start fooling around with it, it's gonna fall.
Don't worry about it.
It's gonna fall, Michael.
I'm holding on to it, Don.
Put something under it to keep it.
I'm holding it.
Put something under it, it's gonna fall.
I'm holding on to it at the moment, Don.
When you take your hand away, what's gonna happen?
I'm not gonna take my hand away right
You
now.
can stay all day with your hand that way? That's unbelievable.
Don can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Most of the time, he's your best friend.
Yes, we argue a lot, but we still are friends. He doesn't listen to me at times. I said, put that back, it'll all collapse. And it would have collapsed, believe me. I know my house. Let's go out, come on. No, come on, I want you to go out with us. Lock the door. I have to go to the post office. No, don't lock it now. I told you don't lock it now. Okay, I won't lock it. No, come on, you've got to come. Stop it, Robert, right now. I'm a sick man. You shouldn't do this to annoy me.
I have to go, Dr. Reed. I have to leave. It's 11 o'clock.
He doesn't always listen. He is a great talker, but he is not always a good listener.
I have my old clothes on today, so don't worry about anything.
Okay.
I just bought a $600 suit.
All right.
It's in the car, and these are my old clothes.
At the time, I was really heavily involved in the Academy. Dr. Reed had talked to someone at a local cable company about trying to get greater visibility for the Academy by putting together a little show, and Dr. Reed asked me to be the host of it.
Hi, I'm Kevin Glover, and welcome to the Academy of Science Fiction Presents Interviews with Film Persons, Past, Present, and Future. Sort of an informal forum of new talent, established talent, could-be's, would-be's, has-beens, and hopefuls.
So when he went to the hospital, Don could talk, and he, asked me to help Habib. Habib was the vice president, run the organization.
There were people who thought the Academy should be much greater than it is if Don let go of some of his authority. He had a hard time doing that.
Yeah. So I'd been fighting, not fighting, but just, I guess it would be lobbying with Dr. Reed for a long time to open up the balloting for all the categories to all the members.
I don't know if Kevin Glover wanted to take over the Academy. I thought he wanted to make the Academy more democratic. That was a threat to Don.
My major assistant tried to take it from me by calling a meeting of the board of directors at Paramount after the first successful televised show was worth a great deal of money then. And I put money in it for several years, every cent I had, and the board of directors unanimously supported me.
I believe the way that Don had designed the bylaws of the Academy, he was the ultimate man. He couldn't be removed.
Remember, if you start something that's a success, they're going to try to grab it from you.
Half accustomed to the dead already. Hurrah for the next who dies.
To die, to be really dead, that must be glorious.
My Count Dracula.
There are far worse things awaiting man than death.
The way this is built is so that you can put your arms through here again.
Can you help me?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so that you're not flashing anybody as you're walking past.
What about glasses?
Glasses we'll take from you in a second.
I can't see without these.
Okay, well, we'll keep them on you until the very last minute.
Dracula is an idea, a concept full of fantasies and wonders. We may question his authenticity, but there's always a living Dracula within us all. Dracula seems to tell us that death is an experience, a gateway to a newer and fuller life. Dracula stands as the symbol and essence of all philosophies of the East and West. He presents the message of resurrection, transmigration, rebirth, renewal, and immortality. Like the sages of old, like the Sanskrit philosophers, Dracula seems to point his finger and says, every day we see the coffins carried to death. The remaining ones wish for immortality. How wonderful is this? And the final message of Dracula, as a book, as a movie, as part of our culture, the final message of Dracula is that nothing dies, that life is eternal. Okay. Where's Robert?
Let me get this door for you.
Yeah, where's Robert? Do you know? Is it on now? I don't think I pressed it hard enough.
It's on.
Are you sure? It's been a terrible week for me. I found out, I went to the hospital, had x-rays taken, and I found out I have a slip disc. That is, vertebra number 5 is out of place. But they don't want to operate on me because I'm a diabetic. And you know, when you're diabetic, it takes months and months and months to heal. I'm very happy to have seen twice X-Men, Bryan Singer's new film, cost $75 million, and they're spending millions to advertise it. I saw it Monday, and then I saw it again Wednesday, and I want to see it again when we throw it. When we show it, I said I have hiccups. But I want to see it again when we show it for the Academy. I think it's the outstanding film I've seen so far this year in our genre field.
I would venture to say that pain is a great energy waster, so it makes him weak. And pain, of course, is a great mind blower. It really occupies the mind to the extent that you can't think as well, you can't do as well. It's tough to do anything with pain.
Aren't you drinking? I never drink. Why?
I don't drink alcohol, but I sure drink Coca-Cola. I love my Coke. Farley, you're looking great. You're looking terrific.
This is clone number 5. The real me is home taking it easy here.
Ray, good to see you. Don Ray. How you doing? Like you. Slip this. Slip this. Good to see you, Don. Ray had a stroke, you know. I know. Yeah. Massive stroke. Massive stroke.
I ask myself, really, who are these people? What brings them together? Why are they here? What are they an expression of? What does collecting comic books have to do with it? What does monsters and myth images and mythologies of all kinds and philosophies and psychologies, because it's all lumped into this thing called science fiction. Why are you a science fiction fan? Because it's not mundane. It's not common. It extends off into other worlds. It's symbolic. It's religious to the max. Almost all of these monster movies are in some way God kind of movies. There's a lot of people in this room who are big name fans, and they're big name fans because of their deeds. I look around now and I see Forey Ackerman, and he's in his elder years, and he's vital, but he's not immortal, not physically. And I see Ray Bradbury. He recently had a stroke. And I see Robert Bloch is no longer with us. And Walter Doherty, one of the old staunch members of the group, and Dr. Donald Reed. They're all around me, and I see them, and I'm wondering what's going to happen when these people go, because they will. Now, who will fill those slots in the social engine that these people filled?
Thank God that I'm still around. Look at my poor girlfriend, Gaina. Married and came back to California, gone within a few weeks. She came to one of the screenings with her husband, but then her husband called me on the phone crying and said she had gone to the hospital with a brain tumor, and then within 2 weeks she was gone. Like a thief in the night it comes, what Hamlet called, that undiscovered country, from whose shores no traveler returns. Death. Well, fighting it. I hope I get better. Robert, what do I have? What's the spinal thing called?
Just relax, Dr. Reed, relax.
Who's gonna call the name?
He is. You're going to hand one to him, and he'll say, I'd like to present this to so-and-so.
Forgive me for being so brief. I suffer from a spinal thing. I have a slip disc, and while I'm healing, taking therapy 3 times a week and all kinds of medication, it's very difficult for me to be here, so I left the sick bed to be here. The nonprofit Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films has voted 10 Golden Scroll Awards of Merit for outstanding achievement to Halloween. It looked like this is Golden Scroll Award of Merit for outstanding achievement. It bears the corporation seal of honor and my signature. The first winner, Jamie Lee Curtis. I would like everybody to tell me what's encompassing their role. I thought you called as director. You know what he does.
Robert Holdman, I'm one of the producers.
Gene Fisher, I'm on the membership committee. I'll be checking people in.
Brad Marcus, co-producer, co-writer. Kevin Marcus, co-producer, co-writer.
Stephen Carter, director.
Everything is going to be webcast. Everything has got to move. I mean, there can be lapses. And somebody says, and the winner is John Smith. You don't want to wait a minute for John Smith to work his way up to the stage. Where will that camera be as he's making his way up to stage?
To find out. We're going to have a second camera.
Because we can't just, especially when we're setting up for the little girl, you don't want to see people pushing a step stool in front of the podium.
So I'll need a seating chart where everybody is.
Robert, are you there? Yes. You don't want to take my blood?
No, don't worry about that.
I'll go out if it's over 100. I'll go out.
No, I'm sure it's...
How low was your blood today?
Well, I went bad a little while ago.
Yeah, how low was it?
60.
Wow, it's really bad. I didn't pass out, but I had an attack where you feel faint and you sweat a lot. The only thing that can help you then is to eat sugar. Candy bar, or as Robin does, cubes of sugar, and then brings it up.
He's a worry to the family because we feel that, if he doesn't take care of himself, he's going to be left with maybe a stroke, amputation, just several things that could occur.
I don't know if you can see it right here. Right here.
At the time he was in hospital, at the time he finished his surgery, as we stood over the bed, he swore up and down there isn't anything in the world that you couldn't get a candy bar into his mouth if you tried to drive it through with a truck. But as soon as they begin to feel better, and as soon as the sun comes up and they're outside again, oh, I'm indestructible. I think he'll die. I think he'll die of the problems that we've been keeping him together with Scotch tape with all this time. Let it be said, however, that even at his advanced stage, it's not too late to avert the stern decree. A strong commitment to medication, diet, etc., could reverse a lot of what I've just told you.
My friend, make sure there's 12 chairs here, will you? Make sure there's 12. So there's 12 here then. Good. And everyone's got his table name. Good. Good.
Okay, I want 2 guys here, not 1.
Okay. Have they done the mic check yet? You can move them down. It shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you, Jeff, for your kind introduction. The nonprofit Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films presents these Saturn Awards of Merit and Recognition as a simple thank you to films and filmmakers who have brought us so much pleasure. So I'm going to come down. I need somebody on my left side. The only... Oops.
All right?
He's going to be here, Freddy Krueger. See that? Look, Wes Craven, pioneer of sci-fi and horror.
celebrities and finer films keep coming along.
Complimentary from the hotel. Thank you. Oops. I'm gonna rest. Just put this here. The winners today are all great people, and they won Saturn Awards, and some of them have won Oscars even. But it's sort of fun if you have everybody here. Well, we'll do the best we can, and we'll see that they receive their award, no matter whether it's London, England, or Paris, France, or Montreal, Canada, or New York City. Some of our winners are in New York City. So they'll all get their Saturns eventually. But it's a little bit sad that we can't have everybody here.
You're going to dim the house lights more?
Yeah.
Okay. How many are there? Jeff, how many are there?
I'll tell
you know what it
I'm
was?
going to make a big push to get this thing televised next year.
Well, well, we came this close this year.
Right.
It Fox turned, the person that was spearheading it at Fox left, and once he left, the rest of the department dropped it. And I've already dumped it back in their lap for next year.
Here we go. Star Trek's our show on TV. Who cares? B5 hired me. The news, listen, hear me broadcast. I know to your TVs you'll run fast. I cast good news and some real bad. And clearly, J. Michael's
Donald Reed is the person I always credit for turning around the fortunes of Gods and Monsters. We first showed it at Sundance. No one wanted to distribute it, but he saw it. And he invited us to come here, and he gave it a special award 2 years ago. It didn't have a distributor then, and it was the little buzz we got out of this night, I think, that really helped us to finally become alive again with certain distributors, and Lionsgate picked us up, so I'll always be incredibly grateful to him. He was a great supporter of the movie when nobody else was interested.
I've known Don about 15 years now. My name is Watson Garman. I've taken pictures and worked security for the Academy for about 15 years. You know, he's been giving these kind of films recognition that they never got before. I mean, they're getting it now, but when he started his Academy, nobody recognized these kinds of films. So he's a pioneer in his own way.
I'm going to be over there with you anyway, so...
Where are we, backstage?
Yeah.
We actually have a stage this year. This show is getting out of control. The cheese ball set, which is left over from Assault on Dome 4, a film I did a few years ago.
How's it going?
So, well, we haven't, we had Steven Seagal get into an accident while coming to the show. So he's okay, but his assistant's in the hospital. I don't know how serious it is. But, well, I snagged Dennis Haysbert when, he was happy to do it.
Here we go. You need to get Bruce back there. Are you ready?
Warm water. I'm not nervous at all. By the way, they're not here.
We're 10 minutes late. Let's get started.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the president and founder of the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror, Dr. Donald Reed.
The Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films presents these Saturn Awards of Merit and Recognition as a simple thank you to film and filmmakers who have brought us all so much pleasure. All these great filmmakers that are here tonight deserve recognition. One of them, Brian Singer, has won 3 Saturns over the last few years. So the films he has created and the films that you all have created will live on, and your grandchildren will enjoy these films. Thank you for coming tonight, and have a wonderful show. I want to see the Academy back on national television, either cable or network, so that instead of 400 people seeing the awards, 4 million people will see them. That is my immortality. People will remember that this Academy was around, giving awards to science fiction, fantasy, and horror films when nobody cared. Posterity will think of me, Don Reed. Thank you, Dr. Reed, for starting an academy where these films could be honored in their own day and these people could be thanked. What are awards but a simple thank you for all the films and filmmakers we have around today. And if I could bring a little happiness into people's lives by calling attention and thanking them for the films they have made, like Madame Roland, when someone says a film sponsored by the Academy of Science Fiction, they'll hear of the name of the founder, Dr. Reed.
I guess I really just want to make this short as I can. Thank Dr. Reed. He started something that took the genre film, gave us some class, made us stand out for doing it. We got above scale now. A few points in the pictures, and he really gave us a little bit of dignity in this. And we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Wonderful event. Thank you for all your help, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you.
Bye, Don. I will talk to you.
God bless.
I'll call you tomorrow.
You might miss your family.
I will, absolutely. Cheers.
I thought it was enjoyable.
Everything went well, despite the fact that many of the winners were off working and couldn't attend. I thought the event went off very well. My life has certainly been enriched by living with him and working side by side with him, and he's instilled a lot in me that will help me in my own life as I continue to live and move forward. He is, as I've said, a very giving man, and it's just an honor for me to be working with him.
When we finally get one of our projects going, and actually when we get we'll be on stage for our Oscar acceptance speech, and I think we actually will acknowledge, Dr. Reed in our speech, and people will probably applaud. More people than not will probably recognize the name, and hope. Like Dr. Reed says, I'll probably be dead by then, but I'll be able to. I'll know. I hope not.
Okay, Robert, I'm coming in to eat. I'm coming in to eat. When I was in college, I gone to hear a lecture by Robert C.W. Ettinger, who wrote the book The Prospects of Immortality. And after the lecture, he was with a couple of his friends and his wife. I invited them all to come to my club, the Magic Castle, for dinner. Professor Ettinger's book, The Prospect of Immortality, says, if you're dying now with a disease uncurable like cancer or diabetes, have yourself frozen in liquid nitrogen. And 20, 30 years from now, they'll find a cure for what you have. And 30 years from now, they'll be able to revive you. And I said, a lot of people don't want to be put in liquid nitrogen and frozen, and they think that nothing will come in the future. He said, well, let them rot. If they're only buried in the ground, let them rot. Well, it's upset me now that this was 20 years ago and it hasn't come about. I've already paid for my plot and the tombstone. I would engrave upon the tombstone, dear God, please have mercy upon the soul of Donald Reed, as he would have mercy on you if he was God and you were Donald Reed.
Nowhere else in the universe has such a diverse, gifted collection of stars, visionaries, and heavenly bodies been assembled in one location. Except perhaps in heaven with Dr. Reed himself, who no doubt has gathered with him such friends and luminaries from past generations as Gene Roddenberry, Rod Serling, George Pal, keep watch over us tonight at these proceedings. So, in memory of our immortal president, let's get on with the show.
I'm surprised that the Muppets were considered in this category of fantasy, because I don't particularly think of the Muppets as being fantastical or science fiction or horror. I think of us more as just a bunch of dogs and frogs and pigs and chickens.
I'm doubly happy to receive this award because he told me that this is much more prestigious than the Oscar, much bigger than the Grammy, and much harder to buy than the Golden Globe.
I'm very proud to have this. Thank you. It's quite a weapon.
I see.
Beautiful.
It's absolutely lovely. I'm embarrassed.
It's a great pleasure to present Art Koke with this Golden Scroll Award of Merit for his outstanding achievement in the creation of Gumby from the Academy, with our thanks and love for Gumby.
Thank you, Art, and thank all of you for making tonight such a special, special occasion. Now, everybody, a big finish here. Show us your Gumbies! Show us your Gumbies!